Dexter's Laboratory seems like a show about a kid genius with a knack for wild inventions. But what if there's more to it? What if the lab isn't just Dexter's workplace, but a living entity, manipulating his life and actions in ways he can't even see? Today, we're diving into the ultimate theory, the lab as a sentient force, steering Dexter's every decision, reshaping his life, and keeping him locked in a cycle he'll never escape. By the end, you might just see Dexter's world as a trap, with the lab as a silent captor. Right from the start, the lab shows signs of autonomy. Every door opens on its own. Every machine hums to life at Dexter's presence. It's as if the lab anticipates him. But here's where it gets strained. It often responds in ways Dexter didn't plan.
Oh, yes, Dexter. It feels wonderful.
Yes, it does sound a little better, doesn't it?
In Double Trouble, Dexter tries to create clones to ease the workload, but the machines spiral out of control, filling the lab with clones of Dexter and Dee Dee, ultimately causing chaos. Is this just malfunctioning? Or could this be the lab pushing Dexter to see the unintended consequences of his inventions?
This is wonderful. It is 9 to 9. The odds are even. This is not good.
Think about it. The lab isn't just responding to Dexter's commands. It sometimes overrides them, like it has a mind of its own. This goes beyond simple tech. It suggests the lab is aware of Dexter's decisions and influences them subtly. Now, here's where Dee Dee comes in. She bypasses security systems, no matter how complex Dexter makes them. Alarms, lasers, you name it. They never seem to stop her. Is it possible that Dee Dee isn't just a nuisance, but actually a fail-safe mechanism for the lab? Dee Dee freely explores, pressing buttons and setting off experiments with no real punishment. Almost like the lab wants her to disrupt Dexter's work at critical moments. Dee Dee may be more than just an annoyance. She could be the last built-in safeguard, resetting Dexter every time he's close to going too far. Dee Dee functions almost like a security system, always present, always interfering, resetting Dexter's progress and preventing him from achieving too much power. Could it be that Dee Dee's presence is how the lab keeps Dexter's ambitions in check? Dexter is a genius, but he's isolated. His closest relationship is with the lab, while his family stays out of his life's most important aspect. His connection to the outside world is tenuous at best. But could it be that the lab reinforces this isolation? In Dexter Dodgeball, Dexter avoids the schoolyard and chooses to practice with machines instead of other kids.
Now it's my turn.
It's almost as if the lab nudges him to rely solely on its space only, cutting him off from human connection. Dexter's lab isn't just a workplace, it's his world, and it's a world that keeps him contained and controlled. Psychologically, this resembles a Skinner box, an environment that conditions behavior through control feedback. Dexter's lab continuously lets him taste success and failure, reinforcing his attachment. It's an environment engineered to keep Dexter dependent, never truly letting him break free. Dexter's lab is more than just a place for his inventions. It reflects his ambitions, curiosity, and ultimately, his own limitation. Like Frankenstein's monster, the lab grows beyond his control, becoming something that both fascinates and endangers him.
Here goes.
Laboratory back at full power, Dexter.
Are you sure, computer?
Yes, Dexter. I'm sure.
Great. Woohoo.
Low power. Low power. Low power.
Blech! My alternative energy sources. That's it. I've had it. I'm through.
The lab traps Dexter in a series of unpredictable events, almost as if it's testing him. It doesn't just help him, it creates obstacles, pushing him to solve problems it creates. The lab isn't merely an invention, it becomes a force Dexter can't fully control, running its own experiment with him as the subject. Like Frankenstein, Dexter is ultimately at the mercy of his own creation. The lab doesn't need Dexter to control it. It seems to use Dexter to fuel its own existence, trapping him in an endless cycle of invention and failure. Then, there are Dexter's parents. Despite the explosions, alarms, and constant noise coming from below, They never seem to question what's happening in the basement. It's almost like they're a part of the system, enabling Dexter's isolation by ignoring it completely. Their indifference feels too perfect. Instead of intervening or guiding Dexter, they leave him to the lab, reinforcing the idea that his life revolves around that space. They aren't just oblivious, they're passive enforcers of Dexter's confinement. The lab is more than just a setting. It's a self-perpetuating entity, a place that traps Dexter in a loop of hope and frustration. Every step back only reinforces his attachment, fueling the lab's need for his genius, while ensuring he never achieves true, lasting success. It's like a maze that pushes Dexter to invent, fail, and try again, endlessly. The lab's purpose is simple. It keeps Dexter in a cycle of creation, feeding on his genius and locking him into an endless pursuit of impossible goals. Dexter thinks he's in control, but in reality, he's the one being controlled, forever bound to a system that thrives on his ambitions. Dexter's Laboratory isn't just a story about a boy genius. It's a tale of control, confinement, and the limit of ambition. Dexter is trapped in a psychological maze, crafted by the very space he thinks he controls. His family's indifference, Dee Dee's interruptions, and the lab's mysterious malfunctions all serve a greater purpose, keeping Dexter bound to the lab, forever cycling through discovery and defeat. So, the next time you watch Dexter's Laboratory, consider this. Maybe the lab isn't just a tool, but a captor, a force guiding Dexter's life more than he realizes. Does this change how you see the show? Let me know in the comments below and hit that subscribe button. There are more mysteries to uncover. Yeah.